No, not relief. I always felt we would achieve the objective. I think tonight highlighted where we are. I think, of course, we'd have loved to have played more fluidly and scored more goals. We played a team that came to make it really difficult for us to create chances. We had some good individual attacking moments, but without being able to make the final ball, or there were blocks or fouls that broke the game up. So that was frustrating. We're having to find a way of winning by being a bit more savvy because we're not flowing with the ball. But we have got goal scorers, and the important thing was to stay resilient through what was a difficult period, probably half an hour from the end, where there's a bit of anxiety you could see. Important save from Joe Hart. And we have to become a team that score late goals, not concede them, and that's become a little bit of a theme over the last few games. So was it the performance we wanted and the night we wanted? No, absolutely not. But when I was given the job to keep things steady a year ago, the objective was to qualify for Russia. Now we have the opportunity to look, how do we evolve the team? We had to keep winning, and we have to keep trying to give young players an opportunity to mature. So to marry all of those things is difficult. And I said to somebody earlier, we qualified 2-2 against Greece. Was an exciting game at Old Trafford, but we didn't play very well. But everybody remembers David Beckham's goal and the drama of it, and we leave on a high. And that was on the back of a campaign where I played in Finland and we drew 0-0 and we got killed by everybody, which was also a critical point. So, is this team exactly where we want it to be? Of course it isn't. It is young, and it is learning how to win. And I've got to, say the players give me absolutely everything, and I couldn't ask any more of them individually. They're going to improve, but it is a work in progress.
I think, Garath, that after the problem sometimes in these games is that the crowd feel like they've seen it before, as you mentioned, and that they struggle to believe that they can do something different, even though
Yeah, look, we have a responsibility to create chances and bring excitement to get the crowd excited. So we can't expect that they make it a cauldron without us doing that. But I've got to give credit to the opponents, because they made it really difficult to create those chances. We know we've got some exciting attacking players. We know the speed and the pace that they've got. They limited the opportunities for that to have an effect. So what do? Well, we have to show the resilience that whatever the atmosphere and whatever the feeling, our job's to get the result. And in the end, for English football, crucial to be at a World Cup. Absolutely crucial, for everybody. Probably quite critical for the economy as well. So that's just one more thing that we have to try and make sure we get right. But I'm not going to hide and say we're exactly where we want to be, or the performance was what we'd have liked it to be. But we have had, in my period in charge, I think 6 wins, 2 draws. We have one of the best defensive records in Europe in qualifying. We've got players that we think can score goals, and we know exactly where we need to improve. Well, I think we know the players inside out, and the pleasing thing for me, I thought, again, Marcus had really exciting moments early in the game. In the first half in particular, we were controlled in our build-up. We weren't panicking in our build-up. I thought in the second half we got a little bit impatient with that and started to take risks that, or not risks, but not play positionally disciplined, and then you lose some rhythm. I thought Jesse had a decent impact on the game when he came on, provided us a better link. And then we decided at the end to change the shape a little bit to get us 2 forwards up the field because we could expose counter and deal with the 4 forwards that they'd put on. So, yeah, I'd need to watch the game back again to be able to analyse in more detail. But I go back to, I think, what the team have been through over 18 months. And as a young team, what they're having to deal with in terms of expectation, criticism of their performances, it's tough for them. It really is tough. So I think they're young players that we have to try and get behind. They're giving absolutely everything they've got. They don't have Champions League winning medals throughout this group. They don't have League Championship winning medals. They're a work in progress. But they will give everything they've got for the shirt, and they are going to improve over the next few years. So they're suffering a little bit the consequence of 25 years, 30 years, 40 years of whatever. That isn't their fault. So we've got to, give them the belief and give them the backing to help them go and achieve. I won't release any, no. I mean, we have to assess where we are injury-wise, but won't be releasing any players. It's important that we're a squad. We stay together as a squad. Maybe some point tonight we might enjoy the fact we're at a World Cup, although that might take a few minutes. But we also, there'll be England supporters going to Lithuania, and we have a duty to put a performance on. We want to stay unbeaten. We want to go and win the game. 1 or 2 players that we definitely like to have a look at. And it's one of very few games we have now to build towards the World Cup.
Nigel.
Do you think you've got the time, Gareth, overall, to get the team where you want to be by the time you go to the World Cup?
Well, it depends in terms of, where would you like to be and what's realistic about how quickly you can improve. What we've got to do is maximise the abilities that we have and the capability that we have. So, are we going to become Spain in the next 8 months? No, we're not. No, we're not. But respectfully, they've got a squad full of players that have won league titles, won Champions League medals. So, we keep talking about world-class players, and I come back to until you win things and until you are able to really perform and prove yourself on that stage, then you can't consider yourself in that company. But our lads now have a chance to play on that stage again, and that hasn't always been the case.
Gareth, are you and the players aware of the impatience perhaps from the supporters, and do you feel it has a detrimental effect on the performance?
Well, very aware of it, but in this job and in terms of playing for England, you've got to be resilient. And you have to stick to your beliefs, you have to stick together as a group, and we're in the business of winning, and we have to keep winning. Look, we'd love everybody to be fully supportive and right behind us. There's nothing better than feeling that. You sense it and you feel it. We have to give the performances that allow that to happen. We have to, give people that hope and encouragement. But in the meantime, we've got to keep winning matches.
Yeah, what did you make of the atmosphere tonight? Because speaking about the paper aeroplane and all that seemed to take over, were you aware of that, and were you aware of the difficult part of the atmosphere tonight?
I'm aware of everything, of course. But my focus is on winning the game and being there for this group of players that need help, need support, need encouragement in terms of what we're trying to do. They're learning how to win football matches, and there's many different styles of game, and they've faced similar issues. The team we played against tonight conceded 4 goals in the whole qualifying campaign. So, much as we wanted to be free-flowing, was it going to be a 3 or 4 niller? well, when I look back now, probably not. But had we managed to get an early goal, the whole thing changes. So we knew the kind of opponent we were going to face. Did we set out to play exactly as we did? Well, no, of course not. But that's the way football is.
Garath, you feel you're in a bit of a bargaining situation with the supporters' expectations, and obviously qualified, unbeaten record, but tonight people go away essentially not happy with the performance.
I think it's the nature of playing for England and managing England. You know, we are a country that has high expectations, and you have to keep delivering. I've seen Bobby Robson get to a World Cup semi-final and was hammered up until probably the quarter-final stage. So I'm able to rationalise it all. I understand it completely. What I have to do is keep winning football matches.
Just it.
One on the captaincy. Obviously, Kane got the goal tonight. You can probably argue that Cahill was up in kind of mentoring a less experienced defensive partner in Stones. How do you feel that the performances tonight have put anything, made any impact really on that the long-term situation with the captaincy?
Really, I'm not judging that decision based solely on the performances in matches. In fact, it is a factor, but it's far less than everything else that goes with the role and the responsibility. So great that the captains kept scoring, but the leadership from others and the moments in the game where the game went dead and people were getting together and they were talking about the game and what needed to happen, and rather than going in their own space and not working collectively, were important. So those little bits of leadership are starting to emerge.
Yeah.
I think we feel, we know we need to evolve the team, and there's a desire to evolve the team. But also we had to keep winning and keep winning to qualify, because for any of the young players to improve, they've got to go to a World Cup. It was imperative. They have to go to a World Cup. So in some areas we think we can look at different things. In some areas we know where we want to evolve towards. Some of that can happen before Russia. Some can't, frankly, because in certain areas there are maybe young players in our system that aren't going to be ready for the next 18 months, 2 years. But what we have to do is look at, what have we got? What have we got? What are we really good at? We've got goal scorers and we've got some attacking players that we think will cause problems to any team in the world. Then around that, we've got to structure a team to go and win football matches. And I go back to, I'd love us to be dominating 80% possession against the best teams in the world. But there's little evidence of that over the last there's maybe little evidence of that over the last 50 years. But what would be my desire and an ideal way of playing, and what we have to do over the next year, are maybe two different things. But I go back to, what's the role of the manager? Well, in the end, I've got to win matches, and making sure we qualified for the World Cup was crucial.
Okay, last one.
Will you be experimenting a bit with the two friendlies coming up, or do you have an idea pretty much fixed as to what your plans are for the World Cup?
We pretty much know already what we want to do with those two friendlies, yeah. We've also got a game, this weekend that, again, I talked about. We've got travelling supporters going. We want to put a performance on for them, but also maybe an opportunity to look at one or two things. We don't have time to waste any match in terms of what we might learn from it and what we might take from it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.